Will the AI hype deliver for investors in the new year? The Global X team has a new report to help investors make sense of the landscape. So let's get into everything you need to know in this week's market moves. Okay, first, it's hard to ignore AI stocks have had a huge run, and it invites the question, is this growth moment different than others we've seen? Well, let's start by looking at semiconductor companies. Global X Vice President and ETF strategist Raghav Mehta did a deep dive into this and found, as an example, that data center rental rates in the United States are at all-time highs, which speaks to the demand we're seeing for AI. And you roll into that the chip giant NVIDIA talking about its backlog, or OpenAI with these big deals with NVIDIA rivals like Broadcom and AMD, and he sees a multi-year revenue opportunity for the semiconductor providers that goes beyond any one company or one chip. But what does that actually mean for investors? Well, let's bring it back to the stock market, because we mentioned that AI stocks have had a big run, and Associate Portfolio Manager and Senior Analyst at Global X, Jerry Chu, has been tracking the US markets. Now, overall, the Global X team has a moderately optimistic view on the S&P 500 heading into 2026. They're also closely watching the tech-heavy Nasdaq 100, which has more ties to the AI story. Chu does note that while there is momentum for that group, that because these big names in technology carry so much weight in the index, that if there are any earnings disappointments, that could be something to watch. And finally, as much as we talk about Silicon Valley, don't discount the China story. Raghav Mehta also did a deep dive into the Hang Seng Tech Index, which could be worth watching in 2026. Now remember, when it comes to technology, there's a lot happening in China, from robotics to electric vehicles. And if they are able to show more progress with the commercialization of AI, a lot of people talked about DeepSeek, for example, that could create more investor interest beyond just traditional internet plays in China to cloud and fintech, next generation hardware, even manufacturing. Now, for more on this topic and the entire investing landscape for 2026, be sure to check out the perspective section of the Global X website. That's it for this week's Market Moves. What market moves are you watching? Let us know in the comments, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next investing video.